Okay, so the next step now will be to make rumble strips. Now, rumble strips are by far one of the hardest things to make, because they're just very, in a way, inconsistent. They're very annoying to make. So, what you're gonna do is first you're gonna select the plane. I'm gonna show you how to make them in a straight line, and then how to make a curved rumble strip. But those are really hard to make, which is why I don't normally recommend making those. For the length, normally you go 1.2 to 1.4 meters for the rumble strip for the width. That way, you can put maybe your entire cart over it. Maybe your tires, like normally 1 to 1.4 is good. If you go 1.5, then you can put your entire cart over it, and that's not right. And normally most of the time they're around 25 meters. By the way, everything that I'm saying is in meters, so make sure if you want to convert it, or you use something if you're in feet. Next, you're going to press F4 on your keyboard. Oh, wait, no. First, you're going to deselect it. Then you're going to press F4 on your keyboard. Now you're going to get all these grid lines. These are all polys. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the width segments to... Nope. Okay, so you're going to put the length segments to 0 or 1. Oh my god, what am I doing? Okay. First select your plane, the thing first. Now, put both of these to 0 for now. Or 1. And next, to make the rumble strips, let's pretend every second line here is going to be a part where it dips down. So normally 100 is good. 100 would be good. So let's put 100. Next, what you're going to do here is label this TRK curb because it's a curb still. And then you're going to do edit poly. And you're going to select this tool right here, the polygon. Now hold down Control and just select every second box. This is where it gets very annoying. And of course, if you place it over here, you can just press Alt and then click on it, and then just keep holding down Control when you go to do this. Unfortunately, there is no other faster way to do this, so this is where you just need to have like extreme patience. Another option for rumble strips, of course, is just leave it flat like this, and then you can just skip these next 2 or 3 steps on how to give it the rumbles and stuff. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to go up here, and you're going to click on this right here. So it's called Show Full Ribbon, and then you're going to get a bunch of these things that pop up over here. Normally I just have this open by default. So now what we're going to do is you're going to press on this arrow and Extrude, and then go to Extrude Settings. And normally I would go 0.006, which would get it... Oh no, I put it negative 0.06. There we go. And then it gives these indents here, just like this. If it's too much for you, you can put it down to 5 like that, and then once you're done, you're going to press the check mark. And for some reason it didn't do it. Oh, that's weird. There we go. So we have all of them selected now, and make sure you have all of them selected when you go to do this, otherwise it won't work. And then if you're happy, press the check mark. Now you'll notice that these are pretty squarish, so if you want to give them the little curves and stuff, or you want to leave them like this, doesn't matter. It'll look good in game both ways. Next you're gonna select the vertex, this thing right here, or the edge, my bad, and you're just gonna drag straight down the middle, and make sure these outer lines right here are not selected. Next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna want to rotate this a bit. It's kind of annoying sometimes. That way you can just see this right here. Okay, so now we can see it. You're going to press on Camphor Settings, put the segments down to 0. No, leave this at 0.5, my bad, wrong thing. And you're going to select this over here. And normally, when you put, it would be around 0.2 to 0.3 that you put it to. Oh, whoops, what have I done? There we go. Something like this. Now in this case, it's over-rotated and you can see it. So we put it back one. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. And then basically you just play around with it until these two lines right here basically meet up with each other but don't overlap. So maybe not that, maybe it'll be 3. Okay, we'll try 4. So right here, this is right on, like spot on. So now you can just press the check mark here. Make sure your steps are always, make sure it looks just like this. I'll leave it here for a second. If you're in feet, just convert 0.025 meters to feet, and then you just type in the same units. And then you're going to press the check mark, and there you go. Now you have your rumble strip. So now you can press F4 on your keyboard again. That way this looks all normal and stuff. And since you're using a plane and you're not using a curb, what you can do now is you can put, first thing you have to put is actually the path deform, so let's look for that. And then you can put a UVW map on it. Or in this case, we have to put the UVW X form because we have to rotate the texture, probably. So go find your curb texture again. So textures, curbs, red and white curb, and drag it on here. In this case, it's basically done for us, so we can just kind of make it look like this. And there you go. You have your rumble strip now. So from here, you have to now create a line here. So let's say you want to put the rumble strip on the exit of this. Again, this is just for straight. It's not for not for curves that are on a corner. So then you're going to press create shape. This is how I make them, just because you don't need to, if you make them for straights, you can just use the same rumble strip. So in this case, when you go to measure this line, it's close enough to what you need. If it wasn't close enough, then you have to go delete it and then maybe remove or add an extra thing on the edge tool. So like let's say it was too big, then in this case we'd go back to here, go to edit poly, and then we just press alt and then maybe remove 1 or 2 depending on what the difference was. So it doesn't matter if it's too short or too big, like a tiny bit too much. So now you're going to press create shape if you're satisfied with the length. So let's just check it, measure, 24.4, that's okay if it's a bit small. Now, before we can use the path deform, we have to use the pivot only. So you're going to turn on snap, and you have to kind of play around with this because I kind of forget exactly how to do this, so you just kind of have to play around. Maybe you have to put it over here. You'll see what I mean if I'm wrong. But if I get it right, then it's good. So first thing you're going to do, use pivot point, put it on X, and then you're going to click on that right there, and then select the line. So in this case, it's on the wrong side, so you can just press flip, and then all is fixed. So in this case, we just have to deselect that, and then there we go. We have a rumble strip. In this case, we cannot delete this line over here, because if we delete it, then this rumble strip will go back to where it was. So we always have to delete the lines there. But if the line is bugging you that much, you can go to Tools, and then Shape, and then just turn off the eyeball. That way it's not there anymore. But that's not just it yet. Now, with this over here, we have to create a loft, or we have to loft something on there now, because the dips are too big in the rumble strip, so it's not gonna, when your cart goes over, it's basically gonna launch you off the track. So you're gonna click here, and since we made it 1.4, we're gonna look in the Y until it's at 1.4 or around that, and then we'll put the exact coordinates in. So let's get around 1.4 right there, and then right click out of it. And now, since it's close enough for me, so now what you can do is you're going to click on the line right here, and then you're going to go here, put it back to compound, and you're going to loft it on. Now, you'll notice that this might happen. That's okay. What you did wrong was you didn't put the pivot point. So now you just got to put the pivot point back to the edge here, and then when you go to select it again, put it here, loft, and then get shape, and then do it like this. it'll cover it, but in this case, it doesn't cover the entire thing, which is okay. So now you're going to label this TRK curb, and then you're going to make this invisible because we don't want this to be seen in game. We want to be able to see the rumble strip, not the thing that keeps you slightly above those little divots. So you're going to put invisible in all caps. This is just my personal strategy of making rumble strips. They're really good, and so now you just snap the ends that are not all the way at the end. You can just snap them on. Now you'll notice that the track over here doesn't go onto the curb here, and that's because it wasn't perfectly straight, and this is what would happen. So in this case, you can just do edit poly here, and you can just snap it on there, right there. You can just kind of move it around a bit. But if it's bigger than that, where let's say the rumble strip's all the way out here and you have to snip a lot of things, then maybe you might want to reposition it. So now you're going to select the TRK curb invisible. You're going to select this, and most of the time you're going to want to move it negative 0.003 or 0.004 meters down. That way when you go over the rumble strip, your steering wheel still vibrates and makes the noise. But if you move it any lower, your steering wheel would basically shake too much, and also you'd be sent off the track flying. And if you put it too high, then it's just going to be a flat curb. So that's how you make them for a straight line, and I'm going to show you how to make them for the corner. In the corner, unfortunately, there's not really an easy way of doing this, so I'm just going to show you how to make a flat one for the corner, a flat curb in the middle of the corner. So you're just going to select where you want it to be in the corner. So let's say you want it to be over here. Make sure you have nothing else selected, so if you just want to be safe, you can hold Alt, and then over the area that you already had something, you can do there. You're going to press Create Shape, and then you can go to Loft, get Shape. This is basically just making a flat curb for this. You're basically just making a flat curb, and then the same thing after you go here, label it TRK curb. Make sure that your path steps are 0. Then go to surface parameters, put apply mapping, put your texture on it, and then you grab your edit poly if you want to kind of shape it a bit, you know, bring it in a bit. Won't look too good with that, but doesn't matter too much. And then put your, not your UVW map, you're going to put your UVW X form. And then rotate it 90 degrees. And then just play around with it a bit until you get to the right size. And there you go. That's how you make rumble strips.